top 5 must-read books about theater to read during quarantine.
Actors, take 5.
Hi, Jeff here, the Inspired Actor. Before I begin, let me just encourage you to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps me out, and it will help you get great videos about acting, theater, film, and much more. Thanks a lot. So last time I recommended some great plays to read while we're all quarantined, alone, and filled with existential angst and an intangible feeling of dread. If you haven't seen that one yet, I'll put a card up there and you can go ahead and watch it if you like. These are books that I either teach from or have influenced my general philosophy about the craft of acting and show business generally. These are books that have inspired me, and I genuinely think that if you haven't read these books and you are an actor or director or in any way involved with theater or film, you are doing yourself a great disservice by not reading them. Read them. Read them now. Also, let me just say that there are literally thousands of awesome books about acting. Many of them also inspire me. You probably have quite a few that you've read and wish to recommend. Please feel free to do that in the comments. Please, I want to know what books inspire you. Audition by Michael Shurtleff. This is the book that I teach from when I am teaching beginning actors. What I love about this book is that it is as close to a Lego instruction booklet for acting that you can get. There's some cool stuff in the beginning and the end that is about the practical aspects of an audition, and that's pretty cool. My favorite chapter is chapter 3, which is only one sentence. Consistency is the death of good acting. But the meat of this book are the 12 guideposts for acting, which every actor should have printed and put in their wallet or purse to remember and go over at every audition and rehearsal they ever go to. So in essence, this is the book, and all you really need to read of it are these 80 pages of it. Read them, memorize them, and live by them in your work. I teach from this book because it is so short and specific, and it allows me to focus on your feet exercises that complement the book work. It just allows me to keep my classes active while still covering the basics of acting. It's a must-read book for any actor. If you haven't read it, you are missing out. Impro by Johnstone. How do I explain this book and what it has done for me as an actor and theater practitioner? I can't. There are no words. It blew my mind. There, those are words, I guess, but my point is that it is one of the most essential reads, in my opinion, for anyone who wishes to be in theater or film or teach theater or film or just be a teacher or just be a human being. It was written 40 years ago, but could have been written yesterday. One of the best parts is when it goes on and on at length about how the education system is designed to suppress spontaneity and individualism and how to free yourself and others creatively. It's an incredible book. And for a book on acting, it's pretty subversive. I love theater as revolution and an agent for change, and this is one of those baseline books, if you're an actor like me, who fancies himself theater's answer to Che Guevara.
Do you hear the people sing the song of angry men?
Give it a read. And speaking of theatrical revolution, The Empty Space by Peter Brook. The rough, the holy, the deadly, and the immediate. 4 types of theater, according to Peter Brook, and it is always going through my mind as an actor, director, and performer. Every word of this book will blow you away. I want to warn you up front that this book can get quite heady and dense and way up in the stratosphere as far as concepts go, but it's totally worth working through, and once you get it, it will change your approach to theater for good. Basically, it says that deadly theater is the kind of theater that is the way theater is supposed to be. In other words, rote, by the number, commercial affairs where there is little creativity on behalf of the makers of that theater, all too little rehearsal, and a general sense of boredom by the actors and other creators. The holy theater is the kind of theater that strives to make the invisible visible. The rough theater is down-to-earth, street-level theater, but the best theater to strive for is immediate. Theater that is alive and immediately present to both the actors and the audience. I can only say that this book changed everything about the way I see performing and probably made me 10 times more insufferable at theater parties, so you should probably give it a read. Something Wonderful Right Away, An Oral History of the Second City and the Compass Players by Jeffrey Sweet. This book is a series of interviews with many people who were involved in the early days of Chicago's Second City and Compass Players. I love this book because not only is it filled with super funny stories, but it's also very inspiring. It's really a story about how a bunch of kids from the University of Chicago created one of the most renowned theaters in America and one of the most fertile breeding grounds for American superstars ever. I have worked in improv for years and years and truly love Second City and the ideas behind why it exists and continues to exist. My belief is that improv is an essential skill for any actor. I'm not saying that all actors have to be comedians, but thinking on your feet and being ready for anything, yeah, you should probably learn that skill if you haven't done so already. This is truly an amazing story, and whenever I'm feeling down or discouraged, I pick up this book to give me motivation. To the Actor by Michael Chekhov. Okay, to those who know me, this should come as absolutely no surprise whatsoever. This book is the single most important book on acting I have ever read. It is not only full of excellent exercises for the actor to work on and practice, but is filled with incredible and inspirational theory on what acting is supposed to be, what theater can be, how we can work towards a mutual goal of making ourselves and others the best artists we can be. Chekhov was one of the most influential acting theorists ever. Stanislavski called him his most brilliant student. Meisner, Stella Adler, Herbert Berghoff, Morris Karnofsky, Harold Klerman, Sanford Meisner, and Lee Strasberg also respected and admired him as a teacher. He trained actors such as Marilyn Monroe, Clint Eastwood, and Ingrid Bergman. Jack Nicholson, Johnny Depp, and Anthony Hopkins have to varying degrees carried his work even further. Whether you like this version of it or the version that was released after, simply called On the Technique of Acting, I couldn't recommend either highly enough. It's great, everyone. Read them and get inspired. So that's my 5. What's yours? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.